Shark, shows up on time, does what he's supposed to. Left Shark, though, he's out on his jet ski with a couple of girls in sharkinis. And I'm pretty sure we're live now. If somebody wants to check that, we're probably broadcasting live out to the internet as we speak. That could be happening. Bill, do you want to check that? Sexy Bill the cameraman.
I'm doing it.
Sexy Bill the cameraman, how do you not have a Twitter handle?
I don't know. I just don't like to tweet things.
Really? I picture you as a man that has a lot of Zen things to talk about. Really, that could only... you probably wouldn't even need 140 characters for a lot of what you have to say, I feel.
Just write a...
Yeah, just like write some haikus.
Just haiku each day, yeah.
Yeah, just like little ponderings, like, I wonder if beetles ever get itchy. And like, what would they do if they did, because they have an exoskeleton. See, like little ponderisms like that, I could see you doing that. At any rate, for people listening to the audio version of this and not watching it live whenever we decide to broadcast it on Twitch, I'm Blake Morse, your wonderful host for Children of the Atom Cast, which is the new podcast that we're doing about comic books and comic book related things. Joining me today is my buddy Ick. That's Ick over there. And Sexy Bill the cameraman.
What up?
Sexy Bill the cameraman and we have gone to 4 Comic-Cons together?
Something like that. I feel like it was more, probably.
I feel like it could have been 5. I don't think I'm going again this year, and I'm starting to get a little nostalgic for it now that I haven't gone. This will be year 2 that I haven't gone to Comic-Con in 8 years. So
yeah.
So if I go to the next 2 after this somehow, I'll feel better. I feel better. I made a majority of a decade was spent hoarding over nerdy shit that nobody really cares about, and we'll all be burnt when I die. So
not buried with you. You're not
I'm not going to bury my comic collection with me. No, I'll probably donate it to my local library. Shout out! That's a shout out to my man. Ick works at a library. I'm not going to tell you which library, and I think it's better if he doesn't tell you either. But we're actually here to talk about comic book stuff.
There's a convention in Concord on Sunday.
A comic book convention?
In Concord.
Really?
I'm going to it. Yeah, it's a one-day convention.
Who? What is the special guest for Concord, California?
It's actually... Oh, God, what is it?
Oh,
He's the artist for The Boys.
Yeah, what is it?
Transmetropolitan Derek Robertson.
Derek Robertson, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's why I'm going.
Oh, man.
Admission is $5.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, folks, if you're in Concord, California, and you want to meet Ick, who you know from maybe this one episode of the podcast, if you listen to it, it'll only cost you $5. And you could also meet Derek Robertson, which is probably more exciting than meeting Ick. Maybe not.
And the Blue Ranger, one of the Blue Rangers from Power Rangers.
If it isn't the original Power Rangers,
it
doesn't.
Not the original.
Then fuck him. Who the hell cares? Does anyone care about any of the Power Ranger offshoots?
I'm celebrity.
Is he the one that stabbed his roommate?
That would be awesome.
That would be fantastic. If they had, I would go to the cheap podunk comic convention that had the Power Ranger that murdered his roommate at it. Did you hear about that, Ick?
It is being held at the Concord Hilton.
Did you hear about this, Bill? Did you hear?
No, I did not.
This happened a week or 2 ago. One of the guys that was a Power Ranger, or one of the later knockoff ones or whatever, apparently got into an argument with his roommate and stabbed him with a sword. And the guy died at the hospital, which isn't funny. But the idea of that guy being at a comic convention charging $20 is so close to reality.
That's terrible. I hope he said it's morphin time before he
Oh man, too soon. Too soon. Oh man. So, hey, there was some big news in the comic book world this week, but I guess it's kind of more the movie world, but Marvel finally was able to get the license to use Spider-Man in their cinematic universe. They've made some, like, cross deal with Sony now.
To use Spider-Man. They
To
don't
use
have
Spider-Man.
the license
Yeah.
to own him.
No, Sony still gets to, like, make their own movies, and they'll work with Marvel, but they can still do whatever the hell they want. So, but this might mean that, like, other Marvel characters might make cameos in the Spider-Man movies now, too, which is kind of an interesting thing. I think it's, like, what I'm looking at this is, like, when you listen, like especially, like, rap artists, hip-hop artists always collab with other people that are on other record labels and stuff, and then they just gotta put, like, the little thing saying, like, used with permission from, like, whatever record company they're on, right? So it's essentially, like, they've made a deal for, like, it's like if Beyonce wanted to collab with, I don't know, Dr. Dog or some stupid indie band. I don't know. They're both on different record labels. So it's kind of like Spider-Man's like the Beyonce of Sony Pictures. And now he's coming to collab with like the Wu-Tang Clan, which is like the Avengers and stuff like that.
I think it was just Sony realizing that all of their Spider-Man movies were losing money, so they were like, Marvel, come help us, but we still want to hold on to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they
Like,
can hold on to it. I mean, they can. I mean, they got Marvel's balls in a vice grip here. You know, I'm sure that this costs a lot of freaking money. Like, this costs an ass ton of money, and it's probably a lot of money that it probably doesn't even make up for all the money that Sony has like lost trying to make successful Spider-Man films, like over the last few decades.
Totally.
Man, hold on.
I mean, Marvel wins in the long run, though, because they're basically holding Sony's hand at this point. I think Marvel's more in control than Sony is over everything.
Yeah,
Oh
absolutely.
yeah, totally.
Which is great, because everything they've done is awesome. So,
Yeah.
But
hopefully,
like, yeah, but I mean, like, it doesn't stop them from making crappy movies with Spider-Man still, right? Like,
I mean,
they're just gonna have
well,
to use are they all gonna have to agree on an actor? Like,
Well,
how
yeah,
is this gonna work?
So
Kevin Feige is, like, on board with the whole thing. Like, he's in charge of the production, so I feel like it's Sony's, like, thing, but Feige gets final say, so I think it's going to be they're more in control. So it has more potential to be great than it has in a long time.
It could. It could, or it could still keep sucking.
yeah, I think this is more. I don't know. I'm more worried. Worried that this is going to dilute the Marvel. The Marvel pool. Marvel runs such a tight ship, and like they've been flawless so far. Like every movie that Marvel Studios has put out has been good, and that's because everything is in house with them. Like they don't like. Everything is super organized and has a lot of oversight by Phage, and I think Sony getting involved with that is, I don't know. It might not work. I mean,
Yeah, I already don't like that they pushed back all the Phase 2 stuff.
Yeah.
Or not Phase 2, sorry, Phase 4. Whatever the next phase is.
Yeah, just to fit Spider-Man in there. Spider-Man in there.
And I'm actually kind of bummed that they're going to put Spidey in the Civil War movie, because I was hoping they would do something cooler like Daredevil or somebody like that. Even though I get it, like they're doing that, or they want to do that because of the comic, and Spider-Man was a big part of the Civil War story.
He was.
Yeah, it was like a huge part of it.
But I feel like now they have Spider-Man, they're probably going to do that, but I was kind of hoping that they would use the guy from the Daredevil Netflix show, because Daredevil work in that position just as well.
They might still.
I hope so. That'd be cool.
If they're smart about it, because Spider-Man did play an important role in Civil War, but that's because he was already an established character at that time.
Exactly.
He was the everyman point of view. You'd already known Spider-Man. You kind of wanted to see. You were supposed to see Civil War through Spider-Man's eyes. He switches sides halfway through, so he's and if you're introducing him in that storyline, like it doesn't work with
right, yeah.
yeah.
Which is why I thought Daredevil would be cool, because by that point the Daredevil Netflix show had been on for a while.
Absolutely.
And he's got the same kind of like secret identity, not secret identity. Like in the comics now, people like know Murdoch is Daredevil, so they could totally like have the Netflix show where nobody knows, and then they can have it come out in Civil War, like Spidey did in the comics.
Yeah, but doesn't it end up being like Iron Fist was Daredevil during Civil War or whatever, because Matt Murdock was in jail?
Yeah, I'm not talking about Daredevil during Civil War. I'm just talking about
Spider-Man.
Using him in place for the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah,
not using him as part of the Civil War.
Well, they could still do that. I mean, they could still flip the script there.
Oh, yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
with Hawkeye or with that.
Yeah, they're gonna have to. The Civil War movie is gonna have to be extremely different from the comic, because the comic came out years before Iron Man 1. Tony Stark is the villain of Civil War, and that's the thing, is you're not going to be able to make him the villain in the movie because everybody loves Iron Man.
Well, let's wait until we see Avengers 2, I think. More than anything. I think wait until Age of Ultron, because, I mean, Tony Stark is like Robert Downey Jr. does such a good job, and the writers do such a good job of making him such an arrogant prick that you kind of do want him to get kicked in the balls a bunch, And I mean, Iron Man 3 tried to humble him a little bit, but I mean, I feel like there's so much cool stuff they can do. Like, I really think that they should, they start having him hit the bottle hard in the next Avengers movie after the shit with Ultron, and kind of do the Demon in the Bottle story arc with that, and tie that shit into Civil War. And then bring in Spider-Man, and you've got tons of catalyst right there.
Yeah.
For a divide in the Captain America movie.
Yeah, I agree. From a storytelling perspective, it's great to have Tony Stark as play that role and be a villain. He was in the comics. I loved Civil War, and I loved reading Tony Stark as the dude that you hated and stuff. I would just say from the movie perspective, though, if you're running a studio, you don't want your beloved hero to
you don't want the guy that you've been sending to make a wish things for a decade to suddenly be an evil villain, and that's a tough one to pull off. Do you think that they'll rectify it by the end of Civil War? That's a good question.
Oh yeah, of course.
It's all going to take place within the one film, and then that'll lead it. The other thing that, getting back to more of the Spider-Man stuff, the other thing that's cool is after Civil War, if he's still around for Infinity War, or is that what they're calling it? I can't remember. Yeah, Infinity War.
Yeah.
That's totally you could actually have kind of a Secret Wars set up for the black costume Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, that would be sick.
Yeah, you could totally work that in to that story. I mean, I
can't even fathom Infinity War at this point, because the team's going to be so different by that point.
Yeah, that's true.
It's hard to think about.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure some of the current Avengers actors will be dead. Robert Downey Jr., the top contender. But
I don't think we're going to even have a single one of the current Avengers in Infinity War in the first movie. I think they're all going to come back for the second movie. That's my hunch.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I'm thinking the first Infinity War is going to be Ant-Man, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, Captain Marvel. Literally everybody who's not the first team.
Yeah.
Bucky is Cap. I think that's going to happen.
That makes sense. I mean, Chris Evans isn't going to be young forever.
Yeah.
But they'll work that in after Civil War.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. But the Spider-Man, so there's so much potential here to do really cool stuff. What I want to see, and I think a lot of people on the internet have already been talking about this, but Miles Morales, could be the new cinematic Spider-Man.
That's what I'm putting my money on.
Yeah, and I think that's brilliant on so many levels, because it's about fucking time.
Yeah.
Like, let's face it, like, right now, like, they've got the Black Panther movie planned and the Miss Marvel movie planned, and those are both, like, that, like, Miss Marvel is going to be, or Captain Marvel is going to be the first female-led film in the series, and that doesn't even come out for, like, several years. You know, and so, like, you know, maybe giving a more diverse team and giving, like, you know, children of other ethnicities, like, a hero to look up to, other than, like, some white blonde guy in an American flag, you know, is something that it's kind of time for, really. It's just time. There's nothing wrong with it, and it's really, I mean, it's just come on, dude, just do it. But Donald Glover,
I think they will, though. I think they will.
Yeah,
the Donald Glover bandwagon. That'd be great.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
dude, I will start the petition tonight if we can petition that. How do we start a petition?
I think that petition's already been in effect for a long time.
Well, I think that, like, there was a petition to get him to do it in the last reboot with Andrew Garfield or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, they wanted Donald Glover to be Miles. But now I think, like, maybe petitioning Marvel would be the way to go. Like, start a new petition just for that. Either way, Donald Glover is my pick for Spider-Man.
I definitely think that'd be a good idea, and I think they're probably going to go that route. But I think the Spider-Man, either Miles or Peter, is going to be based off of whoever survives the Secret Wars storyline.
I think they're...
Oh, in the comics?
Yeah, because it seems like a lot of the comics right now that are getting a lot of attention are a lot of the characters that are getting movies. Like the new Ant-Man comic is great, and like, so I feel like they're kind of trying to link up their Marvel Cinematic Universe with their comics right now.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's blatant and obvious, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I think Miles Morales and Peter Parker are both going to survive in the future.
Oh, right, yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, we talked about that last week in that episode that got lost. in the pilot episode that wasn't meant to air anyway, yes. That's what I'll tell everyone.
What if for the movie they do a black actor, but he's still Peter Parker?
I'd be down with that,
I think
too.
that could be very likely.
That's
as
best
well.
of both
Yeah.
worlds right there.
Absolutely.
That's, I don't know, like, that's like, makes more sense than Johnny Storm having a white sister. why not just make the Invisible Woman black? It just, that would have made more sense.
Right.
Yeah. Or, like, just go super multicultural with it, you know? Just go, like, full-on multicultural with it. Yeah. Why the hell not?
You know, I've gotten really curious about that movie.
Yeah.
Like, I've heard so much weird news about that. Like, Philip Glass is doing the score.
I could care less. I so don't care about that movie.
You know, I watched...
I don't care either, but, like, it's just it's getting weirder and weirder. The
I
more
don't-
I read about it.
Yeah, it seems like kind of a trip, but it also, like, visually looks like it's based off of the Ultimate Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Which means, like, they could be taking a cue from Marvel, which based a lot of the film stuff, at least visually, off of the Ultimate Universe more so than the 616, I thought. I don't know. I feel like there's, like, always a hint of, like, there's something dark going on and the heroes haven't, like, totally won in all of the cinematic films. Well, all the films. I don't need to be redundant there, but yeah, you get what I'm saying, though. Like, there's that tinge of, like, oh, there's something still really evil out there. I mean, Thanos pops up at the end of Avengers, you know. Yeah, like, there's always just that little bit of gloom and doom, and that's always been something that's been way more prevalent in the Ultimate series than in the 616, like, mainstream stuff. So, I don't know. You know, the other thing is like, Peter Parker could show up and die, and Miles Morales could come in after that, too.
That's true, yeah, they could do that.
They could just do that. Like, you could have it be like Peter Parker dies in Civil War, and then Miles Morales shows up, like, at the end of the movie. He's like, I'm your new Spider-Man. Deal with it, America.
Yeah, I mean, I trust whenever Marvel Studios wants to do, part of me hopes it's a Peter Parker though, not a Miles Morales. So solely because I don't think we've really gotten a perfect Peter Parker yet. Actually,
really, I thought. Yeah. I don't know what's his face, Tobey Maguire.
I thought he was too old.
Yeah, I thought both of them were too old actually.
I don't know. Tobey Maguire looks.
Garfield just wasn't nerdy enough for me. He was skateboarding around. He was like,
I could not get through the Amazing Spider-Man movie. I didn't even see the sequel. I heard it was bad.
Yeah, I didn't see it either.
Yeah, but I tried watching the first one and it's just really dry. It's really dry. It's like all the scenes between Natalie Portman and Hayden Christensen in the Star Wars movies. Like that's the kind of umph it had. I couldn't even get around to him fighting anything.
The only part I liked about the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man was he had the trash talk down as Spider-Man.
I liked that as well. Yeah.
But everything else, just Peter Parker sucked. The story with his parents was stupid and convoluted. His relationship with Gwen Stacy seemed really forced. So if we could take Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker acting and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man acting and put him in a guy who looks like Peter Parker, I'd be very happy.
Yeah. So, I heard the kid from the Maze Runner. I have no idea who these Tweety Bopper acters are, but
was it Dylan O'Brien or whatever?
Yes, I don't know. Something McMaze Runner movie guy. I was up for it. Yeah. But who knows? I think it's up. What I'm really curious is now this opens up the Spider-Verse to Marvel as well. I mean, that means villains that were exclusive to Spider-Man can now be used. Norman Osborn would be a great addition to the cinematic universe.
Oh, for sure.
And could lead to so many things in the future. And that would be something that would be really nice to see. But who do you get to play? Who do you cast as the rogues gallery of Spider-Man's villains now? And who do you draw on? Do you draw on the 616 universe? Do you draw on the Ultimate Universe? Where do you take that from? And will there be a Spider-Ham spin-off?
The most important question.
That is the most important question. Because Peter Porker needs his time in the spotlight, my friend.
There'll be a Spider-Ham, Howard the Duck, and Cosmo the Space Dog spin-off movie. The three of them.
That would
fight crime together.
With Lockjaw?
With Lockjaw, too, yeah.
From the Inhumans. And Captain America's Duck. Squirrel Girls. Squirrel Girl, Squirrel.
Tippy Toes.
Yeah. Captain Ameriduck.
I don't even know about that. That's amazing.
Captain America.
Captain America doesn't have a duck.
Is that a thing?
No.
It doesn't sound like a thing.
Captain Ameriduck would be the best. How do we get Captain Ameriduck made? Who do we talk to?
Get Bendis on the phone. He'll write it for
us.
Get
Bendis on the... Bendis, we got an idea for you. How does this sound? Captain Ameriduck.
He's I'm not writing anything currently. I'm down.
There we go. Another number one. Another classic from Mr. Bendis.
That's the whole franchise right there.
Marvel. All right. Duck franchise. Captain Ameriduck Dynasty. We do a crossover.
Look how profitable that show is.
Captain America. We do a book where Captain America's Duck goes up against the Duck Dynasty guys and just kicks their butt.
Oh, God.
What do you think?
That'd be fantastic. I'm down.
All right. Well,
out there, intolerance takes them out.
So supposedly, they were doing the Sinister Six movie. That was the plan, was to do a spin-off movie just based off of Spider-Man's villains.
Right.
And apparently that's been put on the back burner for all this stuff now, which is actually kind of good.
It is good
that sounded horrible.
Especially after the last Amazing Spider-Man, they set it up really poorly. It's really bad because they have Goblin come in, Harry come in, and then the whole movie the bad guy's Electro, and then there's a vault at Oscorp that's got all these mechanical outfits, and like one's got wings and one's got octopus arms. It's like, oh, there's a cat conveniently located in this place. Like, and it's like the very last scene is like, oh, here's the Rhino in his mechanical suit, and that's like the last scene of the movie is him fighting the Rhino, which is the coolest part of the trailer. It's the very last scene. It makes no sense at all. So I was not looking forward to the Sinister Six. So I'm very happy that it's either going to be completely rewritten or canned altogether. So I'm happy about that.
Did you hear they tried to do an Aunt May movie, or they were thinking about doing an Aunt May movie?
Really? That sounds up. Why would they do that?
I don't know.
It's like old lady getting groceries, hanging out.
I think maybe Aunt May needs to get the gray knocked off of that. You know what I mean? Knock the dust off of that. Aunt May, puss right there. Get some of that. Well, it could be a rom-com, right? It's like kind of like there's something about it. Like, who do you get to romance Aunt May? Who's an old guy that's attractive? Jack Nicholson.
No, just get a Jonah Jameson.
Ooh. J. Jonah Jameson, though. So, oh my God, if J. Jonah Jameson is in the next Captain America movie. Oh my God. Holy shit. If J. Jonah Jameson is in Civil War, it'll be great. Get the same guy to play it. That was the perfect casting in the Sam Raimi
Simmons,
Yeah.
J.K. Simmons was the best J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah.
He's up for an Oscar this year, I think.
For J. Jonah Jameson?
Yeah,
No, for Whiplash.
What the hell? Well, he could have won it for J. Jonah Jameson.
He should have.
He should have. I mean, you know, because comic book supporting roles always get those awards all the time. It's very common. I think that 12 of them are up for awards this year.
This year, the X-Men movie, Captain America 2, and Guardians of the Galaxy are all in the best special effects category.
Should be Guardians of the Galaxy.
I hope so. Guardians is great, effects-wise.
Yeah.
And makeup-wise.
They're up for best makeup, too, and I think they should win.
Yeah. What about Groot for best supporting actor? That should happen.
Not Vin Diesel, just Groot.
So what do you want to, I mean, like, getting back to the Spider-Man stuff, like, what do you guys want to see now? Like, now that like, the doors are open, so to speak. Hello, come on in, Spider-Man.
I can tell you what I don't
shoes
want
off.
to see.
What don't you want to see?
I don't want to see any bullshit storyline conveniently placed about his parents, which is what the Amazing Spider-Man was doing. It was like, if you guys watched either of them, but like, the whole storyline of his dad and his mom was like, oh, they died protecting some secret, and like, they probably made you. They made you into a Spider-Man. I don't want any of that bullshit. Like, I hate over convenience in movies.
Yeah.
So just keep it simple. Uncle and aunt, that's all you need.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't want them to spend a lot of time on another backstory. We've had how many years of rebooting Spider-Man? I think the world gets it. I think
we know the origin.
Yeah, so spend like 10 minutes like, oh, this is what happened. I'm Spider-Man now, and then do like a Spider-Man movie. Like, I don't want another 30 minutes of like,
or even maybe even just a nod to that. Just be like, yeah, you know how it goes. I'm bit by a radioactive spider. Yada yada yada.
right.
Skeet skeet spider skeet. There's the
Like,
spider skeet.
Like what the Edward Norton Hulk did when like they started Hulk and Hulk got good. They like skimmed over the origin from the first Hulk. They're like, oh yeah, this kind of happened. He's Hulk now, and they just went into it. That's what they need to do with Spider-Man.
Yeah, dude. Apparently, Ed Norton is difficult to work with, which is why they didn't bring him back.
Mark Ruffalo's a better Hulk anyway, I think.
Yeah.
He looks more like Bruce Banner than Lee.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I think that was a good call.
He did a great job in Avengers, acting stressed out all the time, like just acting. It was all like the wringing of the hands and like this is good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as Spider-Man goes, I really, really liked it. Amazing. The fight scenes are really good. He moved way cooler than in the previous Spider-Man films. I think that's important for him to be Spider-esque, move Spider-esque.
I like the web shooters in the most recent version.
And amazing, yeah. Like for the most part, the Spider-Man part, like Spider-Man himself in the movies is great. Everything else sucked and amazing for the most part.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. I want a cool villain who's not one of the major villains. I feel like Marvel's really good at doing that. Like,
Civil War.
Like in the Spider-Man movie, like Civil War, I'm not sure what they're gonna do, but in the actual Spider-Man movie, like, I don't know, somebody we haven't seen before would be cool, and somebody who's not like huge, like Venom.
Yeah, I think say Venom for.
Like, give me like Mysterio or Shocker or something like classic.
The Vulture.
The Vulture would be great, but they got shut down a couple times. Hey, you never know. Maybe Marvel's involved.
Huh.
Yeah, Sam Raimi. The rumor was Sam Raimi wanted to do Vulture in the last Spider-Man film. Like, they wanted to bring him back for a fourth one. I think he really wanted to do Vulture, and I guess they wouldn't let him. But the rumor was, what's his name? John Malkovich was supposed to play the Vulture.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
That's what Raimi wanted.
Yeah.
That would have been
perfect.
great. It would have been so cool.
Oh man, that is good casting. So who do you cast? Who would you like to see if it's Peter Parker versus Miles Morales? Because I think we all agree Donald Glover was born to play Miles Morales.
Oh yeah, he'd be great at that.
Yeah, I think it was.
Well, they've already said that it's going to start when Peter Parker's in high school, so...
Yeah, it's going to be a younger Parker.
To pull off being a 15-year-old.
Honestly, I feel like the perfect casting that's never going to happen is Grant Gustin, the guy that plays the Flash on the Flash show.
Oh wow, yeah, he would make a great Peter Parker.
I remember watching the first. Like, I love Flash. First of all, it's a great show. But I remember watching the first episode, and they kind of made he's a little sillier than like Barry usually is. But he's got the right cockiness to play Spider-Man. Like, he's just the first episode. I was like, man, he'd be a perfect Spider-Man. And I love the Flash so much that I love DC because they're casting in someone else for the movie, the Flash movie. Like, they didn't really give the show a chance to like jump off and become popular before they were like, oh, and we're doing a movie too, and it's a different guy. So I feel like because he got shunned from the Flash movie, I'd like to see him as Peter Parker. That'd be really cool.
That would be cool, but because he's the Flash already.
Right, and he'd have to probably quit the Flash to be Spider-Man.
Although, if Ryan Reynolds can be fucking Deadpool and the Green Lantern...
It's true.
Like, this kid couldn't do any worse than Ryan Reynolds. Like, it's hard to do.
I feel like it's less of a crossover thing and more of, like, a time issue. I feel like it'd be hard to shoot Flash and the movies, but I don't know.
Well,
that's my choice. It'd be great.
It made a good point that, like, the Human Torch was also Captain America.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right,
yeah. Yeah, and if that can happen, well, crap. I think all bets are off.
Yeah. No, I think he'd be perfect. He's my top choice for a Peter Parker.
Man.
For sure.
Man.
For sure.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas. JTT. What's that guy done? Haley Joel Osment. He grew up to be a weird looking dude.
Yeah, he did.
But he still got that baby face. Perfect for Peter Parker. Chubby little Peter Parker. No one would suspect he was Spider-Man.
He's so great.
Spider-Man, come on. I'm gonna save you first. I'm here to save. Wow.
Is Sylvester Stallone Spider-Man?
Mary J. Oh, you. I'm gonna fight a rhino. We're gonna fight a rhino in Central Park. We're gonna take him down. I'm gonna fight a vulture.
That's perfect.
And an octopus. Come on, octopus. I got your number, you son of a bitch.
Just running upstairs to the Rocky music, but
Flip,
Spider-Man.
flip, flip, flip. Flip, flip, flip. Flip, flip, flip. Climbing up all the streets. Took my time and my spider senses.
That's another thing I hope they do in the new Spider-Man is they do justice to his intellect, but in a non-dumb way. Because in the other Spider-Mans, they're like, oh, he's kind of smart, but they don't really ever touch on it too much.
Well,
And like in the first one with Maguire, they went straight with him being able to make his own web, like he biologically has web.
yeah.
And amazing, they were like, oh, we'll do the original thing and he'll build web shooters. But the building web shooters scene is like a minute. And the webbing is like an Oscorp. It's like an Oscorp webbing that's already existed. And he steals boxes and boxes of it. And I was like in the theater, like, wait. So there's this guy running around shooting Oscorp webbing everywhere, and no one's like, huh, I wonder what happened to all these boxes of Oscorp webbing. Where did all these boxes go?
Hey, what's with all these videos of this Peter Parker kid making off with these boxes in this high security area?
Yeah.
This
I was like, oh god.
this crap's made out of crushed diamonds. How do you just let that crap sneak out?
It's like they tried halfway, like, oh yeah, he can make web shooters, but he can't make web. He's gonna steal that from Oscorp, and no one will notice.
Yeah. Man, they just got that shit lying around.
Apparently.
You just ask for it. It's like everybody steals office supplies.
It's a goodie bag when you leave Oscorp.
Yeah.
Here's my tensile strength webbing.
Here's some Post-it notes, some Sharpies, a highlighter. Oh, and take as much of this high-tech ultra webbing that you want. I mean, I don't know what you use it for. We've got a bunch of it lying around for some fucking reason. We never use it because we don't fucking know why we made it. Just go on, take it. It's like penny candy over there.
It's like an IKEA, the outside IKEA, where you have the free string to tie stuff down. It's just like a spool by the door. You're just taking webbing.
They just what they do is they mash up a bunch of that candy that your grandma leaves out in a little glass table, little jar of candy or whatever on the table. They take that stuff because it's the most adhesive shit ever. That candy doesn't come apart. They take that and they mash it down into a spider-like thread, and then they don't make shooters for it. What the fuck? Well, Peter Parker's got a leg up on the Oscorp industry there, let me tell you. Let me tell you what, boy howdy. Man, but, here's what I want to... Carnage has yet to be used in any of the movies or anything like that. I want to see Venom and Carnage do some stuff in the cinematic universe. Because Venom's been done, but it wasn't done well.
It was rushed, yeah. I would love to see Venom come back, but I don't want it to be right away. Because that was the problem with it before.
Yeah.
And Topher Grace was really the worst casting ever for Eddie Brock. I mean, it's great and all, but really, come on.
Come on.
But yeah, you can't rush Venom. He's like Spider-Man's Joker, He's
Well, what a lot of people don't realize is that Venom is the end of the black suit story.
Right. Yeah.
And so if you make a Spider-Man movie that's the black suit story, you can't have Venom in it. He has to, it's going to be the end, and that's disappointing for studios. They want that Venom's going to be the audience draw, not the suit.
That's everything I understand about the Topher Grace and Topher Grace and Venom was that he wasn't even supposed to be in that movie. I guess they reshot stuff.
Oh, really?
Because the rumor, I don't know how much validity this has, but I remember hearing that Raimi didn't want Venom in the movie that soon. He wanted to end the movie with the symbiote or something like a hint to it, but not have Venom actually be in it. In early scripts, he wasn't even in the scripts. And the studio pushed for it real hard. And it was like, no, third one, we need Venom. No one's gonna come if there's Venom, so they threw him in there, which is why it felt rushed.
Oh man, Venom just needs put it at the end of the movie, the little teaser thing for the next one. That's what they need to do with Venom. Like, if Marvel can do that shit with Thanos, like, come on, you could do it with a little itty bitty Spider-Man villain. Like, Thanos wants to destroy the universe. Venom's just like kind of a dick. Like, that's
not anymore. But
that was tactical military Venom.
No, not even. He's he kind of Venom. Some crazy shit just happened to Venom like 3 issues ago.
He's got like a new outfit, right? And he's in Guardian of the Galaxy.
Yeah, well, he's been in Guardians for a while, but being up in space was causing the symbiote to act all crazy because they were like in space, closer to like with the symbiote's home world. So they end up going to the symbiote's home world, and they find out that the symbiotes themselves aren't necessarily good or evil. They're just kind of a neutral being, and they take on whatever they like attach to. And if a symbiote has a perfect symbiotic relationship with somebody, then it's usually a good thing. So the idea is the symbiote that Flash Thompson has is the same one that Brock had, it's the same one that all the other Venoms had. So all the crazy people that had it damaged it. So they take it back to the home world, and the symbiote planet heals it and gives him back a perfect symbiote. And Flash is a perfect match for that symbiote. So now he's like perfect Venom now. It's no longer crazy. He's got complete control over it, and they healed his legs so he can walk again, and even without his symbiote. So he's like Super Flash Thompson Venom now. So that'll be fun.
Okay, and sure, why not?
Right?
Yeah.
Comics.
Sure, because comics.
Because comics.
Super. What's the difference? What does super perfect symbiote mean? What does that even mean?
More powerful. Basically, Flash was a perfect match for his symbiote, but because it was fucked up by Brock and people who had it perfect beforehand, it was like damaged.
So did Peter Parker mess it up?
Yeah, must have, because he wasn't the perfect match for that symbiote.
Then why was it making Peter Parker do evil things?
That was years ago.
Yeah, but that brings up the interesting questions. If symbiotes are just a reflection of the people that they were using, like, and if they form perfect symbiosis, and because Peter Parker's symbiote was draining him, and it was like having bad effects on his health.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was why he got rid of it.
So I'm assuming that now Flash Thompson doesn't have that problem.
He never really had that problem. He just couldn't control it as well, especially in space. Like he would be like tactical Venom, but then he would like lose his crap and become like crazy Venom. And now he's got his crazy looking Venom suit because he's got complete control over it.
That's weird because Flash started out as he was introduced as the high school bully. Like he was a guy with bad character, and Peter Parker is a guy with good character. And this symbiote that's supposed to be neutral.
Apparently, Peter Parker's just a dick.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, that's okay. So, that's what that means, though, is that all those years, Peter Parker was just carrying around all that repressed anger and aggression and resentment towards everybody he knew. Yeah. And then he just dumped it on Flash, and like the suit probably hated Flash, right? The suit was like, oh man, this fucking jerk, this guy, oh, I know all about this guy. He used to shove me in a locker and then like make me wet myself when I was a little baby Peter Parker, and now I'm stuck with him. And that sounds more like the beginning of a fucking sitcom than a comic book. What happens when a symbiote who hates his guts has to use him as a host? It's wacky hijinks this summer with Flash and the Flaily thing. I don't know. What is it? What are the symbiotes actually called? Are they just symbiotes?
Apparently.
Symbiotes?
Symbiotes.
Symbiotes.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Yeah. Now that happened in the last Guardians issue, so yeah, we'll see how crazy Venom is.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, a symbiotic relationship is supposed to be a relationship in which the host benefits from the parasite being there. Like those birds that pick the crap out of crocodile's teeth and they trust the crocodile not to do it. Like, that's a symbiotic relationship. Like, the crocodile's teeth gets cleaned, and the bird gets fed, and like they're both happy about it.
Yeah.
So like the term symbiote makes a lot more sense if it's actually supposed to benefit both the host and the goop. That for some reason needs a host, but not really because there's a planet of them, then they're doing just fine. There's a lot of problems I have with this, with what they've done with the symbiote.
I think really it was just them saying, you know what, Venom's kind of a good guy. Let's make him a full good guy now.
Venom's been a good guy for fucking years, though. Like, Venom hasn't been a dick since, the 90s.
I think the point is they wanted to just make him, like, cause he's always been a good guy, but he's always been like, oh, Venom, the symbiote's still kind of uncontrollable and evil. And now it's like, nope, he's fully good. Everything's good. Everything about it's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Venom came out, like, right before the anti-hero wave really hit comic books.
Yeah.
It was, like, right at that time. And, like, so this dark, brooding, like, victim of circumstance that was Venom, like, totally fit the anti-hero package that, like, Ghost Rider and Wolverine and even to a lesser extent at that time, like, Deadpool, like, was starting to, like, kind of eke into the comic book world. And so it made sense to, like, move him to San Francisco and have him live with a bunch of hobos. and like be the protector of like San Francisco.
That was cool. I like that series.
Yeah, but it was
I was like 12 at the time, but I like
man, just once I would like to see a comic book drop Bart, not like a freaking New York subway. Like they're like, what's Bart? Oh, it's like the subway. Like I just picture like they were there with the artist and like the artist is like, what's Bart? And like oh, it's like the subway but for San Francisco. I'm like, oh, okay. I know what that is. I'm not going to look for a reference or anything like that. Like, I've never once fucking seen somebody drop art well in a comic book in Marvel.
That's funny. I have to keep my eye out now.
Yeah.
So many people I read now are all in SF. Seems like all the characters are coming to SF.
The X-Men.
Daredevil's the one I'm reading. Yeah,
Daredevil's in San Francisco?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Everyone's just going to think he's, like, going to Burning Man. Or something like that. Like Daredevil in San Francisco sounds like he could just walk down the street. No one would think he was fighting crime. They would think, oh, that guy's heading to a party somewhere.
People would follow him.
Yeah, people would probably ask him if he knew where to get the good drugs because he looks like he knows.
Yeah. Oh, and I think Iron Man's in SF now too.
We all know what he's doing in SF.
Being a dick, pretty much.
Well, that's what he always does. He's like, man, dude, that's like totally the problem in SF right now anyway, right? Like all the techie elites coming in.
Oh, yeah.
It's like everyone in San Francisco protesting Tony Stark, like being there. Like, you're raising our rents, you're gentrifying our neighborhoods. Does Tony Stark show up at a soccer field in the Mission District and like try and kick a bunch of kids off the field so him and his friends from Uber can play soccer?
Actually, he showed up on a football field and
kicked a bunch of kids off because he had rented it. He had a permit.
He made everybody perfect. He wanted to be perfect, basically. That's how he's being a dick now.
He made everyone perfect?
Yeah, so after the inversion spell thing happened, like he didn't get turned back, so he's still inverted morality, Tony Stark. So he's like drinking alcohol again and stuff, and basically he installs an app to everybody's phone in SF just without asking them. And then he goes and says, hey, I have this app on your phone. If you use it, you can become whatever you want. And basically, he gave everybody in SF their own form of the extremist suit. So everybody who's using the app can make themselves as beautiful or look however they want. So now Tony starts throwing these crazy parties at his crazy tower in SF where he's drinking alcohol and partying with all these beautiful people. And he's currently battling Daredevil because Daredevil's like, this is wrong, you're wrong, this is screwed up, messed up. And he's like, whatever, I'm Tony Stark, everybody's having a good time.
That
sounds awesome.
You should throw a party at the Kink.com armory.
Exactly.
Like, that needs to make its way into the comic books. That's the problem with that SF like let's get some of the real shit that FSF's known for. In there. Let's have a brawl go down at the Folsom Street Fair.
Iron Man and Daredevil
yeah,
fighting.
they're like fighting, and there's
there's a bunch of naked guys.
yeah, there's like a man with his head in a urinal that he's wearing, while a woman is like electrocuted while tied to like a bondage cross. Yeah, maybe like during like the How Weird Street Festival, like everybody's all dressed up in like rave party gear, and like the X-Men show up. And nobody like knows that they're the X-Men because it's the How Weird Street Festival. Like that is. See, I think that's why all these heroes are moving to SF. It's because like they can just walk around on the streets, and it's like no one's gonna give two shits. Like, goddamn, like there's already people dressed crazy, freaking nutso boffo everywhere you go in San Francisco. Man, what do you think would happen if like the X-Men met up with like, now for those people that don't know, there's a guy in San Francisco that dresses up like a bush and jumps out at people and scares tourists.
Bushman. I thought he died.
Well, there's I don't know. I don't think that the Bushman is necessarily an original idea.
It's a legacy.
It's a legacy. Yeah, it's a legacy.
Bushman's not a man. It's an ideal.
Yeah, it's bigger than any of us really. So yeah, I mean, what happens if Wolverine runs into the Bushman? Does Wolverine just like stab him? Like if the Bushman jumps out at like an X-Men? Like are these superheroes really making San Francisco safer? I guess.
No, Wolverine's paperweight man now, so he can't do anything.
Well, you know what I mean. Shut up, Wolverine's gonna be dead for more than a year. Come on, man, please.
Come on. I'm sure he won't come back during Secret Wars or something.
Oh, I know. It's not like there's an Old Man Logan universe or a 90s X-Men cartoon universe. Or probably like another 5 or 6 X-Men universes. Age of Apocalypse Wolverine.
Oh, that'd be tight.
I just really want Old Man Logan and 90s X-Men Logan to hook up. That's what I'm really hoping happens in Battle World.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, just like... They just have it out. They just get it out of their system. This is Wolverine and Wolverine. They got a lot to work out with each other, and they just fuck. They just really fuck. Like, hard. Like, hard. Like me, and like, their claws are out, and they're cutting each other. And they're like, fucking the holes that they make in each other. Like, that's how fucking nasty it gets.
God, it's hot, man.
It's just two Wolverines sticking dicks in holes in each other that they made until they heal up.
Oh, well, they're at King.com.
Yeah, at the Armory. Like, the Armory actually starts employing Wolverine and Wolverine in, like, their gay wrestling fetish videos. And, they go from there. There you go. And that's how I predict that the next Marvel crossover will end.
I hope when Secret Wars ends, all it is that like there's no heroes exist. It's just a bunch of Wolverines fucking each other.
Yeah.
That's how I was hoping Age of Apocalypse would go. Like when he started time traveling at the end of Age of Apocalypse, and he like went and found another past Wolverine, and they time traveled together.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted it to end up with like a whole bunch of Wolverines just hanging out.
That was Age of Ultron, wasn't it?
Yeah, Age of Ultron.
Oh, yeah, Age of Ultron was so ridiculous.
He meets up with other Wolverines.
Hey, dude, I know what you think you're about to do is a good idea, but it's not really, so I'm just gonna...
Let's go back and kill Hank Pym. Yeah. I'm going to go back and stop myself from killing Hank Pym. The part that made me laugh in that was when the Wolverines are deciding which one of them gets to live. And the other one's like, alright, I'll die. And he's like, yeah, I know how to kill you. There's that one spot. And they like go off page and they come back. And it's like, they allude to the fact that there's just like one spot only Wolverine knows about having killed. I'm pretty sure I've seen Wolverine get hit by a nuclear bomb and survive. It was just one spot. It's just confusing. There's like a reset button in the back of his neck somewhere.
You know, it's just a little thing. You gotta lick the back of his ear.
Exactly.
Right get him while stabbing him in the taint.
That's like a safe word that turns his healing factor off.
You have to know the Konami code. If you want to kill Wolverine, you You gotta know. Up, up, down, down. Left, right, left, right. Otherwise, what's the freaking point? Man. So, yeah, here's my prediction. Spider-Ham, Spider-Man, Miles Morales. All gonna come together for one big film. Like the Spider Team. Like the Three Amigos of Spider-Man. What about
Why
Gwen?
don't they just combine all the ideas and they have a black pig play Spider-Man?
There you go.
Ooh.
Spider Damn.
And then give him a blonde wig and have it be the Gwen Stacy Spider-Man. Ham Morales. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, dude, get Halle Berry.
Spider Damn, you fine.
Man, no, you get Rihanna to play Spider-Man
There you go.
as and have her be Gwen Stacy.
There you go.
Because I would love to see Rihanna in a Spider-Man costume or Spider-Woman costume. I'd love to see Rihanna in any tight spandex outfit. Really,
I would love to see a Spider-Woman movie, actually. Now that you say that, that'd be awesome.
A Spider-Woman movie would be really freaking great. The Jessica Drew Spider-Woman.
Yeah,
movie,
she's awesome.
for real. Oh man, see, these are all things that might actually have potential now. You know, this could actually happen.
True. A lot.
Yeah, I would. I mean, there's just so many characters that are in the Spider-Verse that like nobody had access to before now.
Yeah.
At least for the movies.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And Spider-Woman isn't even in so much the Spider-Verse. It's just she has
Her
the
name's
name and
Spider.
look, so therefore
Yeah.
Sony owns her.
Yeah, and I mean Jessica Drew has always been more of like a double agent spy character than like associated with Spider-Man in any way.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Wasn't she? She was like a hand agent or a Hydra agent, wasn't she beforehand?
She
Yeah,
was like,
she
yeah,
was-
an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Hydra at the same time.
And a Skrull. She was like a quadruple
Oh.
agent.
She was the Queen Scroll. The
Yeah.
Queen Scroll. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, she was like playing 5 different sides at once.
I'm everything. I forget who I'm rooting for.
Also, like another really good reason, like if they want to do a Secret Invasion movie or something like that, you know, having access to Spider-Woman makes a lot of sense. Like there could be more. It just seems like while it is a big get to get Spider-Man for like to be able to use him in these films, like it just seems to me like it just opens up the door for a lot of other stuff that Marvel has done in the comics that they could bring over to the movies. And like that might be the thing that nobody's really thinking about right now, just because they're so excited that like OMG, Peter Parker's gonna like reveal himself to the world, and Aunt May's almost gonna die, and then he'll sell his soul to the devil or something, or he'll sell his marriage to the devil to Mary Jane in order to let an old lady who maybe only had a year or two left, like, keep living.
That didn't even work in the comic either, because in Civil War, about registration had nothing to do with revealing your identity to the public.
Yeah.
Like when Spider-Man did that, he just confused the issue for a lot of people. He didn't have to do that. It had nothing to do with registration.
Yeah, it wasn't. Well, I mean, would that stuff have been? Would it be like a Freedom of Information Act thing, where people would have been able to find out who these people were?
Well, no. The way the act worked is it essentially turned every superhero into an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. S.H.I.E.L.D. would have all the everybody's identities, and there would be like the overseeing institution.
I just can't wait for Quake to show up in the MCU movies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to be awesome.
Now, wasn't Spider-Man part of the Secret Wars team? Was it was
Previous
Quake.
one?
It was Quake, Captain America, Wolverine, and I want to say it was Spider-Man. When they go to Latveria or whatever.
Oh, the old Secret Wars, not the new one.
Yeah.
The one that Bendis wrote.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Bendis
yeah.
is one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're right, yeah.
X-23 was there.
X-23? Was that the female character other than Quake?
Mhm.
I don't know. Am I right? Was Spider-Man part of that team?
Yeah, it was a Bendis comic.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, of course he was.
It's Spider-Man, Wolverine, Cap, Daredevil, and Black Widow.
Okay. And
Looks
Quake.
like.
Quake was definitely part of that. That's when they introduced
Oh
her.
yeah, Quake is here. Yeah.
Yeah, they really like start bringing her in as like Fury's like trusted little sidekick sort of character.
Quake's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I'm really happy they brought her into the show.
Yeah.
Well, it's cool that they're developing her, and I want to like. I'm hoping that they like actually pair her off with Samuel L. Jackson at some point. But it's totally gonna be Clark Gregg, all the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, Clark Gregg. Oh man. So like he co-starred with Spider-Man in the cartoon.
Yeah.
That's what it's
That's,
like.
that's right.
So Clark Gregg's already worked with Spider-Man in some ways. But I don't know. We'll see how that plays out. For now, let's just leave it at Spider-Man's back. So, and a lot of nerds are happy.
That's the gist of it.
All right. And Bill, what are you reading this week, Bill?
I just picked up Darth Vader #1, which is by Kieran Gillian, and it's very, very good. What else did I get? I got Guardians, doing the Black Vortex storyline, which is pretty cool so far. I'm interested to see where that's going.
So, wait, going back to Dark Avengers? Is that what did you just say Dark Avengers?
No, Guardians.
No, before that. Before Guardians, did you say Dark Avengers?
No, I said Darth Vader.
Oh, Darth Vader comic book?
Darth Vader, yeah. It ties in with the Star Wars comic.
No way. The Darth Vader comic ties in
Yeah.
with the Star Wars comic?
Well, it's not like it's a separate.
Whoa.
Like, it's a Star Wars comic, but it ties in directly with the story going on in the Star Wars comic too.
So is this canonical now? Are these comics canonical?
No.
Yep, yeah,
Are they?
Oh, they are?
yeah, they are. They are because Disney owns both Star Wars and Marvel now, so these are all canon.
Oh.
These are all going to be part of the established canon once they're done.
Really?
And they're great so far. Star Wars has 2 issues out. Darth Vader has 1 issue out, and they're both fantastic. And then I also picked up Cyclops today. Cyclops number 10, I think.
He's like, I'm so lonely.
No,
Why?
it's so good. I never thought I would appreciate a Cyclops comic as much as I am right now.
I just picked up the first trade of that. I haven't started it yet, though.
Hello.
It's great because it's not old whiny Scott. It's young
Yeah.
young Scott being a space pirate. It's amazing. I'm not sure if you know anything about it, Blake, but basically,
It's, yeah, I know the X-Men from the past are in the future now.
right. So at the end of the trial of Jean Grey arc, where Jean Grey gets put on trial by the Shi'ar for destroying their planet, even though it was not her, it was the other Jean Grey. At the end of that, young Cyclops, finds out that his dad's alive, something that other Cyclops already knew. So instead of staying on the Earth, he's just like, you know what? Everything's so fucked up. I'm just going to go live in space with my dad. So he leaves with the Starjammers. And that's what the arc's been. It's just been like, hey, I'm learning how to be a space pirate with the Starjammers. And it's been awesome. It's been a really good comic.
I wonder if they're ever going to send them back.
I hope not. It's been fantastic. It's been a lot of fun.
I mean, they gotta go back eventually, right? Otherwise, how would they
Well-
ever turn into old them?
Yeah, and the old Jean Grey became, like, in the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, and so young old Jean Grey came from the future. So,
It sounds so crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Wait, what?
yeah, so
So-
she's already grown up in the future, and she never went back.
Yeah. It's all crazy. I've all new X-Men so insane.
How does that even work? So how are they even there to be part of the X-Men in the
She
first
became
place?
Zorn for some reason, too.
Oh, that's what all the villains in the X-Men do. Everyone takes a turn at being Zorn. And then they're just like, you know what, we're going to make Zorn a real character now.
It's past the Zorn costume.
Yeah.
right?
Like, when did they just decided to make him a real character after the Magneto thing at some point. Like, you know what, let's bring
Well,
back...
he had a twin brother, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Wait,
Whose
what?
His name was Zorn.
Yeah.
Wait. So Zorn and Zorn were twin brothers. Did Magneto kill one of the twins and adopt his persona?
Zorn pretended to be Magneto. That's the official canon.
Wait,
Yes.
what?
Zorn was sentient energy.
When he took off his mask and was like, I'm Magneto.
Yeah,
But
he
I'm not
wanted
really
to be he
Magneto.
wanted to be a supervillain, so he was like, well, we better depict than Magneto.
God, comic books retcon shit in weird ways.
Because comics.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that should be the name of the podcast. Because comics.
Because
That's
comics.
a good idea.
Right. What else is good this week, Bill?
Using my brain to think. What did I pick up this week? Batman Eternal. I'm still reading. It's one of the only DC comics I'm picking up, and it's great. It's awesome. I like that it comes out every week. It's just a really quick story,
Nice.
and it's good. It kind of gives me a sampling of other stuff too, because I'm only reading Batman and Batman Eternal from DC, and they're both by Snyder. But Batman Eternal kind of deals with the entire Bat family, so you get like Red Robin and Nightwing and Batgirl, and you get everybody in the comic. So it kind of gives me more than just Batman, which is nice.
Nice. Good deal. Well, snap. And with that, we have come upon at least being at this crap for an hour. So we're going to call it a night. Hey. So thanks, everyone, for tuning in. We will be back. You can follow me on Twitter at ProfRobot, PRFROBOT. You can follow Ick on Twitter at Ick. That's ICK. Ick. Bill is just sexy. Don't worry about following him anywhere. And we'll be back next week. So, yeah, we'll see you then. Bye-bye.